Hello? Can anyone around here speak basketball?
There it is.
It's the Confederacy of Dunks Basketball Podcast.
Trust in Messiah. Welcome to the Confederacy of Dunks Basketball Podcast. I am your host, Freddie Rivas. And who, sir, in the flannel are you?
I am the producer. My name is Matt Duncan, and welcome to December when this airs.
Cheers. Yes. When you listen to this, the Raptors will have played the Grizzlies, so we're not commenting on that too much. But we are a Raptors podcast. We're fans. We're comedians, actors, and we have analysts on. Sometimes a lot of times we have comedians or personalities. It's a good time. Thanks for listening. If it's your first time, if it's not, thanks for coming back. Maddie, if people want to help us out, support us, help us grow, how are they going to do that?
Dunkspodcast.com. That's our website with all our links for you to click. If you want to look for a podcatcher, we have them listed there. We've got our podcast network. If you want to click on that and see the other podcasts that are going on at Sonar or ours as well, you can listen there. That's cool. I'm not shaming you into doing any of that. But also, we've got our link tree set up on Twitter and our Instagram. So everything is there as well in one nice compact little place. Link trees are a huge thing now. We've got one. You can click on everything you need there, and you can get in contact with us and get this Tukes, as well as support us on Patreon if you feel the need to throw us a couple of bucks.
Maddie, thank you so much. You covered all the bases. And, always shout out to the Tukes. It's getting cold. I got them in a Ziploc bag. We got your back.
I've been wearing mine out there, and boy, is it come in handy putting up the Christmas lights and getting the oil changed on the old snowblower.
Ooh, it's snowblower season. Oh my God. I should have really popped some champagne. For those listening, Maddie loves to blow snow.
It's true.
And I'm talking real Canadian winter, coming from the sky, snow. This guy loves it. So,
if I ever did like a cross Canada, like charity run or walk or whatever, it would be, I'd be blowing snow the whole way.
You blow a trail of snow from West Coast to East Coast. And folks would go wild. I would. Honestly, it'd be so cool. It'd be so slow. It'd be fun.
It's going to take me a long time, but
it'd take years, I'd say. Okay. Yeah, you'd have to wait out the summer. All right. So, okay. We'll get past the snowblower bit, I think. Great pod. We got, Cathryn Naiker, Derick Deonarain. Cathryn's hilarious. Derick's also hilarious. Works for CBC. We're plugging stuff left, right, and center. So make sure you follow and support those people. Awesome people. Both not new to the pod either. So great discussions. We're talking, we're talking like Raptors, boring franchises, most entertaining players, what you may be lamented about the championship season.
If you're a Sacramento Kings fan,
yes, we talked about that a lot.
Put your safety goggles on.
We weren't nice. I was nice. Others weren't.
You were the nicest, yeah.
I was the nicest. But I think let's get right into it. I'll say, as I always do, Black Lives Matter, stop Asian hate, email your city councilors, and defund the police, and stay active. We have, a lot going on in the world. So, be active, not passive, and get involved. Do good stuff. Here we go. Let's pop into this pod. Maddie, if you feel like we're good and ready to start this pod up, give me, the words I always crave. Okay.
Okie dokie.
Cool. All right, let's fire up this episode 223, I believe it is. When you're listening to this, the Raptors will have already played against Memphis for the second and last time this season. Hopefully we win. But yeah, let's fire it up. We got two amazing guests. She's done the pod more than anyone. She's a good friend of mine. We do the Pickup WNBA podcast together. We got an episode of that coming out this week. She's a writer for Mr. D. She's written for Son of a Critch for a bunch of stuff, and she's a great comedian. She's gonna have an album coming out soon, I believe. I don't want to mess that up for her, but yeah, make some noise, even if you're at home alone. Give it up for Cathryn Naiker.
Hello.
Hey, what's up?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm pretty good. Every time I dance to that now, I feel like I just am the biggest nerd of all time, and there's no way. Sometimes I feel cool in life. That I got to make that smoother somehow.
You know what? I love that you tell people to get up, shout out, dance, even when they're home alone. Just to me for being on this podcast. And I just want to know if anyone listening is actually doing that. So if you are doing that for us, let us know.
That's Cathryn. Thank you very much. This is why you're a pro. Yes, if you are, I always say that. And if you're at home alone going crazy for the guests, I really appreciate it. It's probably good for your health, just to let out some big vibrations and emotions. And yeah, let's do it for this next guest. I'm always lucky to have him. He's a producer at CBC, a writer, a journalist. He works on a bunch of stuff. Give it up as loud as you can, even if you're at home alone, for Derick Deonarain. See, this song feels more natural to me somehow. My shoulders, have something to go to. I don't know. What's up, man? How's it going?
I'm good, man. Thank you for having me as always. I appreciate it. I'm in great company with you guys. I don't have the incredible podcast mic setup that you guys do, but I'm trying to match it with the sneaker wall behind me.
Oh yeah, you got a sneaker wall. You got some like nice frame photos. I don't know. Oh, I was gonna say that's a snowboard, but that's actually just a cool looking mirror.
Yeah, it's a mirror.
But it does have a snowboard shape.
It does. It's an arch mirror. Shout out to Canadian brands that are making mirrors. I hope you deliver them on time.
Wow.
I think that's the first ever a mirror shout out on the pod.
Yeah, listen, I'm trying to get you guys sponsored, man. If you're listening, sponsor Confederacy of Dunks.
Please, we really need that mirror love. We can do a whole self-compassion angle.
Exactly.
It would be great.
Exactly. Andy, whichever, Casper, whoever.
Yeah, come on, my guy's trying here. Okay, yeah, let's talk Raptors. Maddie, I know you're back there. I don't need to do the whole existential "Are you back there?" thing. Please, good sir, give me your most delicious non-Aaron Bainesy Raptors sting.
Raptors
Hashtag RTZ.
Whoa, that came in hot. The hashtag was like someone got in your face,
I like the polite ask to assemble, though. That's nice.
Yes.
Yeah, and you know what? I had been hearing that for years. And Ennis Esmer was on the pod, I think about a month ago. And I admitted to, not knowing what that word was. And we played it back. We figured out it is assemble. I don't know what I thought it was. It was one of those, like a song lyric. I'm just like, that sounds, Matt's doing something crazy. But no, it's just a straightforward assemble. Okay, let's get going here. Cathryn, let me go to you first. And it doesn't matter. I've been looking up some like health metrics and like games lost to injury this season, but I'm more, curious about like perception. And, as far as health and the Raptors injuries this year, like how important do you think our health is to this particular squad?
Well, I mean, it's kind of a funny / trick question, even though I know you didn't mean it that way, because health matters to every team, always. It
Yes.
always matters.
Yes.
But if you're asking me how much it matters to the Raptors this season, I'm going to say something very controversial, and I'm going to say not that much. Look, I don't want to tank, but maybe we want to lose. You know what I mean? Like maybe, like I want to try. I always want to try hard. I always want to be in it, but this isn't our season. It's not meant to be. So, there's no point in, rushing people. I mean, there's never a good reason to rush anyone, back into the fold. We definitely miss OG. Absolutely. Some of these games we could have gotten had we had him, but I'm okay with it. I think I accepted this season for what it was before it started. And I think Scotty Barnes being greater than we thought, and we had some nice wins at the beginning that people have decided to like raise their expectations for the team, but I don't think that's necessarily fair. So I'm just in it for the ride this year.
Yeah, no, I think that's a good point. If you want a high draft pick again, potentially, or just if you don't think you're going to go all the way, like why rush anyone back? Like why try to press wins out if it's really not that important. We got a stronger East. Clearly Masai's, prioritizing development. I mean, I think, I did a hair flip. I did it the wrong way. I think he's prioritizing development like he always does, but I think he's pretty patient. And Bobby, as far as this team congealing, the Dragic trade, which, I didn't put as a question, but I think that's new news. So I'm not exactly sure of the details there. I hope everything is okay. But
wait, he
yeah,
got
Derick
traded?
No, sorry. I feel like he's on the trade block, and it's
Oh
not
yeah,
exactly
sorry, of
a
course.
secret.
The way you said that, I was like, was there something I don't know?
Oh, yeah.
Breaking news.
Imagine
Apologies.
the Raptors make a big trade. I'm like, who cares? Yeah. Where are you at, Derick, as far as like, how much does health matter to this team? Is it just about kind of keeping everyone healthy long term and not? I mean, I don't know. Fred's playing a lot of minutes. OG's playing a lot of minutes, so that seems to conflict that a little bit, right?
Yeah, I mean it's an interesting scenario because I'm of two minds. I'm also much like Cathryn. I do think that it isn't something where you're necessarily outright tanking, but if you don't have to necessarily make a trade like a Boucher or a Dragic right now, maybe just let them ride out the contracts to not improve the team a ton this season, hopefully improve your chances and let the chips fall where they may come next summer. I understand that, but I think at the other hand, it's significant, but not as significant as it was in Tampa, I would say, where health played a huge role. They were coming out of the bubble. There was way more COVID concerns. People weren't fully vaccinated the same way. So I think it matters, but not in the same sense that it did in Tampa. I do think, however, it's important when it comes to development of guys, right? So you want Scotty to be healthy. You don't want him to have to continue with the lingering thumb issue throughout the season, because you want him. If I'm Nick Nurse and I'm Masai and Bobby, I'm trying to give Scotty as many touches as possible. I'm trying to get him the ball as often, take as many shots as you like within your game, so that we can continue to develop you. Because clearly you're ahead of the curve defensively, but offensively, it's still going to take some time for him to come around. And as great as Fred is, he's not Kyle, right? He's not necessarily going to have that pick and roll game with him just yet. But I do think there's potential there if, Scotty can kind of exist in that, space that Serge did in the mid range with his jumper. But the only way he gets there, the only way that you get the Scotty that we're hoping he can develop into, is if he plays and if he's healthy. So I think when it comes to the young guys, you need them to be healthy. You want them to be healthy. And also for some of the older guys like Pascal, right? Like I think for Pascal, this is supposed to be a year to kind of get his groove back. He's been hurt. He's been injured. The bubble really impacted him mentally and emotionally as well as physically. And then the shoulder surgery over the summer. So I think for him, like I think he very much also wants to play as many games as he possibly can and compete at the highest level, because he's just still trying to find his footing again. So I think it's significant, but at the end of the day, come next summer, I don't think the Raptors would be mad if they end up with a top 5 pick again. However, I think it also depends on the development of a lot of guys, and the only way they develop is if they're healthy. So
Yeah, I'm with both of you, and I think the only thing I'll add to that is that I feel like when it comes to Scotty, when it comes to, Delano, you want them playing with the best version of the Raptors. So I think like I want Scotty, not having to carry too much of like the load for OG or Pascal for resting guys. And I also feel like there's a I don't know. I'm not sure. I'm down with Fred. I mentioned it earlier, like always leading the league in minutes. And I think if you don't trust Malachi, if you don't trust Banton, I get it to a certain degree, but I think, in the same vein of like, hey, if we're just developing, then why really press Fred that hard all the time? And, I feel like health matters in that sense, where it's kind of like we have some healthy guys that we're not using because I guess they're just struggling too hard. But I feel like to get everyone healthy again, we might have to, not have such, it's not like all the rotations are tight, because for some guys it's not, but yeah, I think we could use a couple bodies or two. I feel like our roster's a person short. So I don't know. I mean, like, I think for the bigs, this defense is also pretty taxing. So that's kind of where I was thinking, like, health is like, this team gives me the vibes of like maybe struggling with health all year. And I'm wondering what the solution to that is. I guess, time will tell. All right, Derick, let's stick with you. Classic Raptors Twitter. We have this affection and this like longing, but also like sometimes like a hatred for former players. I think most people like or love JV. They should. He's awesome. He's 29. He's absolutely, seems to be in his prime. He's averaging 19 points, 12 and a half rebounds, 2.5 assists. Like, obviously the Pelicans are struggling mightily, but he's doing his thing. And he had an absolutely wild game, hit 7 threes. Yeah, that just kind of got me thinking, like, are there any moves, whether it's like the Kawhi, DeMar, Pirtle, or Delon Wright or JV, or, even like the moves in the margins there. Like, is there anything that you feel like you regret about the championship run?
Personally, no. I totally understand. Like, I'm so happy for JV. I'm happy for his success. I'm so happy to see him flourishing. Last year in Memphis and then this year with the Pelicans. And it was clear what the Pelicans brought him in for, which was they wanted a big who could play in the paint, but also stretch the floor a little bit more so than Steven Adams can, because Steven Adams is not really known for shooting threes, nor is he really that good at it. Whereas JV is a slight upgrade in that sense, because as you saw last night, he can hit those threes, when he's motivated and is in the right situation. But truth be told, I firmly believe we made the right decision with that trade. I don't think, as much as I love JV and as much as I'm happy for him, that he brings to the table what Marc Gasol brought to us in that 2018-2019 season. I think if you were to have JV in that full year with the Raptors and you run that entire season back and you have him in the postseason, I don't think he holds Vucevic to the levels that we saw Vucevic play against Gasol. And I don't think he plays as well against Embiid either. And I don't think we make it out of that 76er series with JV. And also to that point, I think the reality of the situation is that, especially when I think about the chemistry and the relationship that JV had with other guys on the team, particularly Serge, there were already rumblings between the two of them, even though they both are really good friends and they have a good relationship, that Serge wasn't happy playing behind JV sometimes. Yeah. Because he didn't understand why he would be coming off of the bench for JV, when in Serge's mind, he's like, I'm a better three-point shooter. I'm just as good of a rebounder, if not better. I'm a better blocker. And even though people might say my best playing days are behind me, I think I bring more to the table than JV does, right? And in JV's mind, it's like, well, I'm finally getting an opportunity to really prove myself. We have a team good enough. I had a decent playoffs the previous year. Give me the keys, right? And I think it's much easier as a teammate to swallow that pill of coming behind or playing behind Marc Gasol when you're looking at a guy who is a former All-Star, who has battled against you in the Western Conference for many years and is a former Defensive Player of the Year. I think it's easier to build that chemistry and handle sitting on the bench behind that guy, knowing what his resume is, versus JVs. And so for that reason, I think we made the right decision. I don't regret any of the moves because, if we changed something about how things went down, we may not be sitting here talking about an NBA championship right now.
Yeah, I mean, so many good points there, and I think I've always wondered what the complexion of the series, when especially when I run into people who will say like, just like classic Raptor slander. Well, they say like, Golden State was fully injured, and then you could be that person who's like, oh, well, we didn't have OG. And, it just does make you think about the different types of series. Like I always think about how Fred struggled mightily in the first two series. And, he's basically really couldn't play against Philly, but then started getting it going after, his kid was famously born, Fred Jr. And then obviously was just like flames against Golden State and the boxing one. And, there's so much different avenues to go. And like, I feel like I'm mostly, or almost 100% in the camp of being a Raptor fan for a long time and just like not being able to regret anything, like including, signing Jeremy Lin, which, he didn't play in the playoffs, but like this, all the choices, it really felt like with Kawhi there was this attitude where we wanted to like bottle this potential opportunity and just go for it. And I feel like Gasol was a part of that, touching on some of what you said. I feel he came to the team started passing more, and they were just the defensive IQ was like ridiculously higher. And that's what he brought at that time, even though I think he's playing for Genoa now. And, Gasol did fade. It was at the end of his career. But Cathryn, is there anything we were talking about the JV trade specifically, but it can also be something else. Like, is there any player that's no longer a Raptor or anything that happened in that season that you kind of regret now?
Sorry, I was trying to make a DeLon Wright joke and then I don't know, it left me. But anyway,
you gotta go. It's always welcome whenever you get it back.
I mean, as far as JV goes, look, like I actually do think it is an interesting debate. Could we have won with JV? Like a lot of people are like, absolutely not. There's no way. But we'll never know.
Totally.
All right. I mean, like, look, Gasol deserves a lot of credit and a lot of respect for his defensive effort, especially on Joel Embiid. But we won that entire series by like a point. So, I mean, there is a lot of room for debate there. I mean, as far as regretting it, I mean, you can't regret the trade we won. Like,
right.
I know. Regret the trade we actually won. I mean, it's not like we would win a championship this year if we had Jonas Valanciunas back on the team. Like that's the only thing missing for us now. Like, it's just so deeply short-sighted for people to be like, oh, we should regret this trade.
Right.
We shouldn't have done it. This, that, and the other. Like, it's so laughable to me that like you can't say you regret it. That's just so deeply short-sighted. I mean, I'm happy for JV a lot. Like,
me too.
We could use him now, although imagine how salty that would be for him. Like, I feel like everybody talks about DeRozan as far as like leaving and then us winning the championship. It's even worse for JV. He was right there.
He was on that team
to the midpoint of the season. He gets traded. He even comes back to watch the first game against Orlando. He like missed us so much.
I know.
Like, that must have been so heartbreaking for him. If we try to trade for him to come back now, that would be so weird. I don't know. I love JV. I do miss him. He would obviously be amazing on this team. We haven't had a center in a long time, and so we miss that obviously. But I mean, it is what it is at this point.
Yeah. No, I mean, I feel like, sorry.
Oh no, I just I remember talking to JV's friend at one of NS's.
You flexing, Matt?
I'm flexing a little bit here. I just want to remind everybody. Remind everybody how he was disappointed he didn't get a ring. He wanted a ring because he was traded midseason. So I do find that hilarious that he was actually Mad.
Considering
Not a
Nav
good one.
Bhatia got a ring and JV didn't is kind of
I
wild.
guess.
I mean, has Danny Green even picked up his ring yet? Like,
No.
that's still out there. Give that to JV.
Imagine Danny finally comes home. He's like, "I'm ready," and it's like, "No, JV got it last week, man. It was hanging near, Dwayne Casey's big rock for 2 years. You should have picked it up."
That'd be so funny if we saw JV in the future wearing like a championship ring that just says green on the side.
Oh my god.
Hey, no, I mean, like, I love JV. I loved his development. Like, he was such a big part of that team. I was so sad when Draymond, whacked him in the hand. It was like, just an aside, such a painful injury. But I'm happy for JV now. That's I'm with you both there. Like the one, so I was just trying to, get playful with my own question here. I feel like there probably wasn't really, leverage to do this, considering we were getting Kawhi, who was by far the best player in the trade. There's all sorts of rumors about that trade, about, them not wanting Lowry, them wanting DeRozan. San Antonio more than Lowry was a rumor at the time. And obviously Gasol was a Spur, so he was potentially coming back. There was, a bunch of different stuff. Who knows? But I feel like we had a surplus of centers, and we had, JV, Pirtle, and Ibaka, and we used Pirtle in that trade. And I think San Antonio probably really saw something in Pirtle. He was a high draft pick, but he's a guy I can't help but looking at. He's tight with Pascal. I feel like there was stuff there. Like he was a big part of the bench mob, but I just really enjoyed Pirtle as a basic, like, you can do. I feel like he'd fit into this roster so well. We wouldn't have to pay him that much. He deserves money. I mean, obviously, but like, I feel like he's not a high end scoring center guy. So yeah, my cutesy answer to my own question is Jakob Pirtle. I feel like I wish if we could have offered up somebody else somehow. I don't know.
Yeah, to add to that though, I have two things. So like going back to the Gasol thing with JV, I think in NBA history, there's not that many like mid-season trade deadline acquisitions that really like take a team over, that hump. And even like in the last, I would say like maybe 20, 30 years, like the only guy I can think of besides Gasol that got traded in the middle of the season and was like an integral part to a team winning a title is Rasheed Wallace. Mm-hmm. So like when I think about that trade for the Pistons with McDyess and Billups and Rip Hamilton and all those guys, like they very much kind of resembled the sort of the path that the Raptors are taking. And they had a good core unit, great coach, were developing, knocking on the door year after year after year, and then finally make this mid-season trade that didn't seem like a huge deal, but paid all the dividends for them in the playoffs when it mattered most, when you needed that veteran leadership even more, when you needed that presence to have somebody like that. So I think that was good. The one move I will say to give you actually a real answer is a move that we didn't do, and I'm mad because I think he should have done this, and the Raptors would have done this deal, was when Jeremy Lin came to the Raptors, they should have included Vince Carter in that deal. But Vince said no.
Right.
Because he didn't want to like feel like he was just jumping on some bandwagon to get a title. But in my sense, that would have been
great.
That would have been the perfect bookend. Like you come to Toronto in a trade from the Hawks with Jeremy Lin. Everything still happens in the playoffs the way that it does. Maybe you get a few minutes in the finals. You get your moment in the sun with the Raptors. You can still contribute because he shot the ball better than Jeremy Lin did. Truth be told, I would have taken Vince that season over Jeremy Lin at his age because he's a better ball handler. He's a better three-point shooter. And he could still actually create his own shot even at his age. So I would have much preferred having Vince included in that package so that he could finally win that ring. And of all things, he ended up taking a picture with the ring anyways with Nav Bhatia. It was Nav's ring. So it was like basically low-key Vince's ring. So like I just wish that Vince had said, thank you, Atlanta. I appreciate the opportunity. I'm going to go play in Toronto, finish my career, win a title, still have the record for most seasons played. I think it would have been tied with Dirk, but he would have still been up there for the longest active player in NBA history. And it would have been a perfect ending. Instead, he just went out in the pre-bubble because the Hawks didn't even make the bubble. Mm-hmm. And that was it, right? Like I that's the one move that I think they should have done. And if Vince had actually just been willing to do it, it would have been great.
I love it. Yeah, Vince had. I've never been someone who's harbored like major bad feelings for Vince. I was sore after the trade for like a couple years, but then a decade and more later, Vince is still doing his thing. So I was like, man, this guy's the best. And he had such an unceremonious departures. It would have been cool. I feel like if he had that ring, and he's a really just incredible NBA player that I don't think will be forgotten. But you like to see him. I like to see like amazing NBA players, that aren't whatever going to be the MVP get a ring. It's nice. Okay, let's talk some NBA. But before we do, take a quick pause here for our potential sponsors. And we're back, smooth as always. Okay, Maddie, good sir, give me that Adam Silver, foghorn, whatever you got, ship sounding sting.
This is Adam Silver.
If you're checking this out on YouTube, Derick's face said it all. That sound effect, the Adam Silver thing, it's never really made sense. It's just kind of weird. And cheers to you, Maddie. I'd like to be there. When you create this, I feel like it's a deep Friends reference, but like you're Ross making the sound. I don't know if anyone
the
knows.
The NBA is Adam Silver. Adam Silver is the NBA.
Okay. Wow. How dare you? First of all, no, I'm just kidding. Okay, Maddie, actually hop in here because I want to hear your take on this one. And go serious, whichever way I'm interested. Let's start with you. Derick. Straight up, who's the most boring NBA team, and how should they spice it up? Or a franchise, sorry.
Franchise. Okay. Well, see, this is tough because like I feel like the Pacers have been kind of whatever this year, and Detroit too. But then things got spicy with LeBron, and they've just been in the headlines ever since. And then like Giannis was talking to Isaiah Stewart, so they're like not boring as much anymore. And Cade's back, and like so there's still some headlines there. And truth be told, like every team is a bit boring and a bit interesting all at the same time. But I would say probably the most boring franchise, and this is no disrespect to them, love them, is the San Antonio Spurs.
Oh, nice. That was my top answer.
I feel bad, but like DeMar's not there no more, so I'm not really caring to check for them at all. I love Pop. I love DeJounte Murray. I'm happy to see him healthy after coming back from that ACL injury. And I also just think about, our guy Josh Primo, Canadian dude, good player, getting drafted there. So there's some good potential there. They got KJ over there as well, late first round pick, who basically kind of seems like a Scotty Barnes type. So they got things going on for them, but they're hella boring. The black, white, and gray jerseys are hella boring. I have not been checking for them, and I think my trick to spicing things up, no pun intended, is by bringing back the Fiesta style. Bringing back the Fiesta jersey. I know that the Nike did a great job bringing back the Fiesta City Edition jerseys with the like Taco Bell 90s looking color paint swipes on their jerseys. I love it. I personally think it would bring a shot in the arm of like colorfulness and youthfulness to the team. I mean, they're going to full youth movement anyways. I know Pop's in his 70s, but the rest of the team is young. So why not go with something colorful, something bright, something flashy, even throw back the court too. Cause the court, they used to have like teal on the outside, and they had the, the paint swashes on the other side. So I think the Spurs, they got to bring the Fiesta back.
I mean, that's the perfect answer. I've always loved the Spurs for being this, this model of like how to stay competitive in a small market, et cetera, et cetera. But they are boring. The colors are boring. The basketball right now is boring. They're, don't have any big names. They have some up and comers. The Spurs are probably developing a bunch of guys well, but we're still not, we're not seeing the fruit of that yet. Bring back the color, bring back Los Spurs, and just I think like that's good. That's what I was looking for this answer. Spurs were my top answer. Pacers are also really good. I don't know if that's where you're coming from, Maddie D. And to anyone who's watching this, Cathryn, I think, just had a fire alarm. Things are good. She'll be back when she can.
This is a first.
It's a first, it happens. Like, we had
Hopefully everything's fine.
Oh yeah, you know what
Come
I should
back
say.
and there's
I hope
just smoke
everything-
everywhere.
I think things. I hope things are fine. We'll let you know. Hopefully shortly. But yeah, Maddie, where are you at? Who's your most boring franchise? How do they spice it up? If it's also the Spurs, that's okay.
Okay. I know in the past I've had a real hate on for the Spurs, so I guess that seemed like the easy choice, but it's not actually. And my choice is the Sacramento Kings.
Okay.
And I don't know much about the Kings. I never have. All I know is that they're in a very busy state. There's 3 other teams, and the Kings are definitely at the bottom of those 3 teams, and they always will be, I think. Well, at least during the, Steph Curry, Klay Thompson era. Maybe something will happen once those guys retire, but they're a ways off. And so what I think, and how to spice up this franchise, and that, it's always fun to do this, to spice up the league a little bit, is relocate out of California. I want them to go to Seattle, and I want to bring back the Supersonics. I don't want some new goofy franchise. Do what the Winnipeg Jets did. Bring back the Sonics. You never know. KD might turn his head and go, the Sonics are back? Might jump ship, go back there to finish his career. And then, I think they'll be in their own state. There's no other team in Washington, right? Yeah, just that one.
No,
there's no team at all. So yeah, like I think that they'd have their own state. They can, detach from all the glitter of the Lakers and the Clippers and the Warriors, and they've got some good young pieces to help build a good franchise there, as well as some good net worth with their franchise. So it's not like they're taking some good money in. It's not like the Memphis Grizzlies, who are like the worst in the league or least valuable. It's like you need someone that's got a little bit of dough, who can, get the good concessions, get the good, Seattle, get Frazier, get Kelsey Grammer to come down during the games.
Yeah, that's a big part of this, for sure.
So that's definitely my pick.
Maddie, just so much to unpack there. You really went hard on the pitch. I feel like if that was your elevator pitch, you hit the emergency stop and you got in people's faces, and I love how the main suggestion for how to Sacramento spice it up is no longer exists.
Yeah.
Goodbye, California. Hello, Seattle.
Yeah, much
Maddie
better
B's
weather there.
Hey, I got a tip for you. You're done. That's good. Okay. My team, I feel like I was playing with, San Antonio was my number 1 pick, but I was playing with a bunch of West Coast teams, and I was thinking, I think most of the East Coast teams are generally, they have something going on. I feel like you could say Cleveland, but they have some recent success and some good players, and they're decent this year. My team, I'm going to go with the Washington Wizards, because I feel like even though they're good, even though they have Beal, and, they're competitive this year, there's something about the Wizards to me that's always it's just kind of been lacking in identity. When people describe the Eastern Conference always being bad, which I know is not the case this year, they're one of the teams that come to mind. They're, and I guess the Bulls haven't been good in a while either, but the Bulls are just the Bulls. They're one of the most iconic teams ever. So yeah, for me, I'm going with the Wizards, even though they're good. And, I'm really happy for Dinwiddie. There's a bunch of players, on the Wizards I'm pretty happy for. I like that they've found new roles and are doing well. And, I'm rooting for, any non-major market. That's, obviously Raptors first, but yeah, I'm going with the Wizards. Cathryn, you're back. We were having a good discussion. I wasn't just vamping, I swear. It seems like you're safe,
So I thought there was just some vacuuming happening in my building, but it turns out they were doing some sanding. And then that was there's so much smoke in the air that the actual fire alarm went off. And then it seems to be off for now, but there might be some more commotion. Anyway, what we were discussing,
boring team or franchise and how you spice it up.
And yours is the Wizards.
Mine's the Wizards. Derick came with the Spurs, and Matty D came in with Sacramento, and just his idea was to relocate them to Seattle.
Yeah, I mean, the thing with the Spurs is that like boring is their brand.
Yes.
My answer was also the Kings.
Yeah.
I can't even tell you the last time I've watched a Kings game. I think even when the Raptors play them, I just end up being out. Like it's like one of the few games a year that I just magically miss all the time. Like sometimes like I talk to friends and then they want to be like, oh, like that Marvin Bagley should be on a different team. And I'm like, I don't even know what he looks like. I don't know his numbers at all. Like there's just something about that team, or I am just so out of the loop in every way. They finally fired Luke Walton. I don't know if you celebrated that properly on last week's episode. Just light some fireworks for that. Just easily the most unsurprising coach firing of all time. I think the only surprising thing was that, like, why did it take so long? So with that, I think the only way to make that more interesting is to relocate them or have an actual king, some royalty in the world, go to a game, wear the king's uniform, and then that would be interesting.
Have to be the King of Spain. King of Spain. They entered.
I don't even know what real life kings exist right now, but I'm not on top of my royalty like that. But some royalty should.
They were originally part of the Spanish Empire, I think. So
the Sacramento.
Once I was the King of Spain.
Wow, this is a lot's going on. Matt's coming in hard with Maxi Fruvis references.
He's going deep in his bag today.
So
I have a couple. Yeah, I had a couple thoughts, but now that's all I can think about.
I think you hate Sacramento without telling me you hate Sacramento.
What's that?
We hate them so much. Moxie Fruvis is doing the music every game.
He's doing the anthems.
The anthems, yeah.
Well, I guess
this isn't the Bare Naked Ladies.
If you're a Sacramento fan and you're listening to this podcast, you're like, we've been drafting well for a couple of years. I hate you guys. I'm never listening to this pod. But, a lot of slander coming your way. And, I mean, it wasn't for me. Yeah, De'Aaron Fox is great, so fast. And
yeah, they got good spot players. I said that.
Buddy Hield. Yeah, you did. Yeah, that's fair.
Buddy Hield. That's another guy. No idea what he looks like. No idea. I don't think I've ever seen him IRL or on TV. I've never seen that guy.
Just know Buddy Hield is our Caribbean king. Okay, he's Bajan. He's from Barbados.
Okay.
And he's got a really good smile.
Okay.
And great. You know what? Shout out Barbados for gaining independence.
Shout out to Barbados
from monarchy
and for making Rihanna their national hero.
Yeah. There we go.
Yeah.
Shout out.
Yeah, maybe Sacramento should just reach out to Barbados.
Okay, Sacramento should relocate to Barbados.
To Barbados.
That
would
be
100% become a free agent destination.
Yes,
people would absolutely go there. Rihanna could be their global ambassador. It would be incredible.
Yeah. That's
how you make it interesting.
You hear that, Sacramento? We fixed your problem. Okay, Cathryn. What's my last question here? Oh yeah, just it doesn't have to be stats. But who is your most, opposite of boring? Who is your most entertaining player in the NBA? Who entertains you more than anyone else?
I mean, okay, I have a cool answer and a not cool answer if I'm allowed to say two people.
Sure.
So I'll start with my not cool answer, and that is Trae Young. Okay, it's not cool to like Trae Young, but he is a very entertaining watch, right?
Yeah,
like he just is. Like he is very entertaining. He's very flashy. I like when he gets all upset and his face frowns. It just makes me smile for some reason. Last year during the playoffs, I was referring to him as my son, but that isn't like in a male way, like I own you or something. It's like, no, like I gave birth to him and I care about him because I'm a woman. So
Sure. Yeah. No. You really walked us through that. Thanks.
yeah, I really, that's how I felt about Trae Young. And then my cool answer is, and my most entertaining player to watch this year has been John Morant. I absolutely love watching John Morant play. I think he's so cool. I think he's very special. I want him to be an all-star this year. The Memphis Grizzlies have been my favorite team to watch outside of the Raptors this year. And I really look forward to that guy's future. New Orleans should have drafted him over Zion. That's my hot take. He is the guy from that draft to have built around. And John Morant.
Great answer. Ja is awesome. That, Memphis Raptors game was so exciting. Like, just when he gets like, an extra step on someone and it turns into an NBA Jam style dunk, it's like, wait, what the hell was that? Great answer. Ja for sure. How about you, Derick? Who's your most entertaining player?
So I mean, I was gonna say Ja. I'm also going to the game tonight, so and I'm sad that I can't see him because of his knee injury, unfortunately. But Jaren Jackson should still be good, and hopefully with Ja out, that hopefully means that
is Dylan Brooks in tonight?
I think Dylan Brooks.
Oh, there we go. He'll put on a show.
He'll put on a good show. Hometown. But I'm gonna say, okay, so exciting wise, if I can't go Ja because Ja's basically like Iverson 2.0 with more hops, I'm gonna say Anthony Edwards. I hate that he had to post our boy Utah. That was bad. But it's okay. That's life. But yeah, and he's been incredible this year. He's been incredible to watch, and also to see just like the excitement around Minnesota Timberwolves basketball. Like, I feel for any underdog franchise like ours, that has really struggled and had a really crappy management and luck in the past, and is north of the border, is not supposed to be some destination city, and they've struggled a lot over the last several years, with Wiggins and the passing of their coach and Flip Saunders and everything like that, and just to see that franchise change and the attitude change, Cat's attitude change, D'Angelo Russell's like. Just solely off of the strength of Anthony Edwards being a highlight every night, right? Is exciting to see. And he's putting on great shows. He's putting on a dunk contest basically every night. And I'm excited to see.
Does he have a nickname, Anthony Edwards?
Apparently he's supposed to be called Ant-Man. I don't know if Paul.
No, I don't like that at all.
But
I was thinking something like the Grim Reaper or something related to death, just for the amount of skulls that he takes.
Yeah, KD had that, but he didn't want that. He didn't want to be Slim Reaper because
Slim Reaper.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
Basketball Reference is saying Ant-Man. I don't know.
I don't like that one either. I mean, but you know what though? I didn't necessarily love Splash Brothers in the beginning, and then that kind of became a thing.
Yeah.
So maybe it'll grow on me, but I think he needs a better nickname.
Yeah, it kind of reminds me when Danny Granger was like, "I'm Batman." Everyone's like, fair enough. And he's like, "No, I'm Batman." And we're like, "Okay, all right."
Remember when Pascal Siakam was trying to not be Spicy P and he wanted people to call him P Skills?
Yeah. I mean, I think
no one called him P Skills.
I think he still does.
It's hard to fight the nickname.
And then he was just like, "Fine, I'll just release my own hot sauce with Nando's."
Listen, we need a Pascal Siakam Hot Ones Sean Evans episode.
100%.
So that would be good.
The Spicy P marriage.
He'll be out immediately.
Probably, but that's okay.
Yeah, I think he doesn't even like spicy food.
No, I don't think
Pascal's new nickname is Sean Evans. After that. Okay, every time nicknames come up and like fighting the nickname, I always got to bring up two quick things. KD fought Durantula, which makes sense, but there was one point where he asked people to call him the server, which I just find, the funniest thing ever. Like he's serving everyone at entertainment time or something. That to me is weird. And then also Tim Duncan. I feel like this is such an old rumor that now I'm like, is this even true? But it's funny, so I got to say it. Wanted to be called Merlin. And it never like caught on him because he was like into like D&D or whatever. And people were just like, I don't think you're going to call you Merlin. And Shaq just like threw out a name like a couple years in. It's like the big fundamental, and everyone's like, yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, I mean, like I question honestly, like a lot of these guys and their nicknames, and then somehow the public just runs with. Like I don't understand. Like Shaq and Kobe are the only guys I've ever seen that just throw out nicknames, and then people are just like, "Yep, that's it.
Yes,
He's the Black Mamba. He's Superman. He's Diesel." And it's just like no one else gets to choose their own names. Like,
I know you're not supposed to choose your own name.
Yeah, like if that was the case, like somebody would have called Trae Young like Angelica from Rugrats, and or they would have called him the Cynthia doll or a lollipop head, and that would have just stuck.
Lollipop head needs to be like there because there's some silly ones out there, you know. We got what was I just gonna say? Time Lord, Robert Williams, like some weird ones.
I don't know about that one either.
That's a weird one too.
Yeah.
Okay, let's finish this off with some quickish questions. Maddie, hop in and give me that quickish questions sting.
Quickish Questions.
Here we go. Quickish questions. Lots of colors on the screen. You never know what's going to happen. I might, misread something and it will be confusing. You have to roll with it. That's what's up. You got to let your brains fire off. No stalling techniques. Cathryn, if your fire alarm goes off, fair enough. Maddie, if your fire alarm goes off, I don't believe you.
Oh.
So, here we go. We'll do Derick, Cathryn, Maddie. Derick, who would win a game of one-on-one between the two Matty D's, Matt Duncan of this pod and Matt Devlin?
Whoa.
Ooh, that's a tough one, but I'm going with Matt Duncan from our podcast. Matt Devlin, a great guy, but he's liable to have throat issues on air, and I think solely off of the strength of that and the Cortha Lakes family, I think Matty D from our podcast is going to win that game. It depends on how far though. If it's up to 11, yeah, Matty D.
Yeah, hell yeah, Matty D gave you the ding.
I would I'd make that court extra dry. So yeah, he would be just choking it there.
No fisherman's friend in sight.
Nope.
Cathryn, what is a hip pointer?
I don't know. A hip pointer?
Yep.
I just imagine myself in a stance with like my hand on my hip and I'm pointing somewhere.
This is Quickish Questions. Any answer counts.
That is not what anyone wanted, but
I think
that
it's a
was
deep
my
bruise
hip.
on your hip.
I think it's like
it's
some kind of deep bruise, but fair question. Maddie,
Yeah.
should Gary add a P to his name and start demanding people call him Garpy?
Yeah, I kind of like Garpy actually.
It's
I'm
not
gonna
bad.
I'm gonna give that one a ding.
Garpy Trent Jr. Okay.
Garpy
Derick,
T.
Yep.
if you were given Nick's pinky ring as a gift, would you wear it on your finger or on a chain around your neck?
Ooh, you know what? I've met Nick in person a few times. He's a great guy. I think his hands are a little bit bigger than mine, so I don't think it would fit my pinky ring. So I'm definitely going with the necklace.
Nice. Practical.
Wow.
Cathryn, you're getting all these weird ones. What's a good quickish question?
One where you ask me what a hip pointer is.
Yep. And then the follow-up to that, Maddie, is that it says ask the question provided in the question above. So what is a hip pointer?
You want me to ask that?
That's what I'm asking you. It's getting weird, man.
I believe that it is a centralized bruise on the hip bone that may inflame some other tendons, joints, and overall just doesn't feel good when you put a belt over it.
I think it's just
Fair.
when you twerk to one side or the other.
Yeah, it could be that too. Dr. Duncan coming in there. Cheers.
Matt, I
Derek,
can't believe you
MD.
didn't give that a ding.
It's true.
Yeah, no ding.
I'm gonna give it the Family Feud buzzer for missing it.
Okay, well,
That's
speaking
for
of Family
Freddie.
Feud,
It's for Fred.
Derek, which 5 Raptors will win the most money playing as a family in Family Feud?
Whoa!
That's a really tough one, but I am going to go with the Van Fleets. The Van Fleets, I think, are winning it. Pascal and his brothers, they're gonna be up there. It's gonna
They'd
be
be good.
close. But
Goofing around too
I'm
much.
betting on Freddie. I'm betting on his children because they're too adorable to not win.
Yep. Catherine,
Yes.
what new hobby should I pick up? Or I guess the that's either me, that's whoever wrote the question. Shout out Randall. But
What
yeah.
new hobby should you pick up
Yeah, I guess just what's a good new hobby?
aside from pointing your hips one way or the other? I'm
Yes.
gonna go with. You know what you could do? You can do this hobby with me. This is an earnest answer. I reupholster furniture. That's my hobby. So you can reupholster furniture with me.
Well, let me know if you need any fabric. My dad's been selling fabric for 35 years.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Wow. Look at this.
gotta
look
Your
at
dad
this.
sells fabric?
Hot shout out to Janice Fabrics.
Whoa!
They actually own Fabric Land.
Yeah, they're top of the pops. Like we're talking King of Barbados or
Wow.
royalty
They're up
later.
there.
They're up there with the Fabric Land.
Love it.
Maddie, you're gonna love this question, I think.
Right.
Which NBA player would be the best guest on Succession, and what would be their storyline?
Holy moly! I think that a good guest would be. I think it would be like Kevin Durant because he's so fickle with, you just don't know which way he's going to go with his personality and stuff. And I think it would be like Kendall is trying to be cool and befriend Kevin Durant and is like showing off that he's like, cool with the Brooklyn Nets and they really don't take him very seriously. And then he just, feels sad at the end of the episode like he does usually.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Great answer. Great answer. Okay, last question. So I'm just gonna make it an all play. And I'll say before the question, we'll say NBA player or WNBA player.
Right.
Derek.
Yep.
Who's your favorite NBA player that shares your name?
Ooh, Derrick Rose, easily.
Whoa.
I even tore my meniscus just cuz.
Wow. That's some twin injury stuff going on there. Yeah, Catherine. Who's
I don't know. Who is
Do you-
there a WNBA player with the name Cathryn?
I know the commissioner's Kathy Engelbert. So, but if you want to be a commissioner,
Wait, okay, you two answer and I'm Googling.
yeah, I'll let Maddie answer.
Could
and
do
I'll
a
answer.
cat? Is there like a
Could be
towns?
Yeah, Maddie, who's your favorite?
I could've- yeah.
My favorite is you didn't say first name, so I'm gonna go with my last name, Tim Duncan. He's my
Okay.
favorite player because he likes to wear like sweatpants from Costco, and he was, never gave a. I feel like him and I would just be lost in a sea of sweatpants together if we hung out, and that's a Duncan thing. You carry that name. You don't like to wear tight jeans and stuff like that usually. It's a sweatpant world for Duncans out there.
Oh
so.
yeah, if you're the top of the fabric, empire, why would you?
Yeah.
Nothing but the most luxurious leather sweatpants.
Oh, Naga hide is actually a big fabric.
There you go.
we
There
have,
you
so-
go.
Wow, a lot of fabric
we
shout
do
out.
can we do a sweatpant check to confirm?
Yeah. Can we look into that? Catherine, did you find another Catherine?
I've only found one named Cathryn Crayveld. And she played in the WNBA. I don't even know when. 2005.
Fair enough. You know
Nice.
what? This,
That's it, baby.
Hey, that's you did the research. You made this question work.
I probably didn't even pronounce her name right. I'm sorry.
I just looked at her Wikipedia. Apparently, she was a top 10 3-point shooter in the league at one point. So
There you go.
41% from three. That's you.
It's not bad.
Love
Derick,
that.
making that question work. Buddies,
Thank
that's the end of the
you.
pod. Thank you so much. And thanks to everyone who's been listening, sharing. We've been I keep saying it, we've been growing over the past couple months, really, especially. So thank you. We appreciate whoever's sharing it, however you're doing it. Let's go to you first, Cathryn. What's up? You had your album recording a little while ago. I don't know if you have a date for that or whatever, or if there's any shows you want people to check out.
I don't have a date for the album yet. It'll probably come out early spring. It'll be called I'm Your Number One Dad. So please be sure to check that out once it's out. In the meantime, my NBA podcast is called Buckets and Tea. We put out episodes weekly. And the WNBA podcast that Freddie and I have called The Pickup, we've done an off-season recap episode that'll be out at some point this week, so you can check that out as well.
Sweet. What's up, Derick? Do you have anything you want to plug? Any message to the people?
I don't have anything I want to plug other than I hope everyone stays safe and stays healthy. We're still very much in a pandemic, and health is of the utmost importance, because without that you can't do anything else. And if I'm going to plug anything, I am plugging Cathryn's upholstery business. Go support her. If you got any furnitures or chairs that need to be reupholstered, hit her up. And also hit up Maddie D's family for that fabric. Shout out to Janice Fabrics. Is that what you said?
Janice Fabrics. Yeah, my dad's a sales rep.
There you go. Shout out to them. Support them. Get that furniture. Get that fabric from Maddie D. Then get that furniture reupholstered from Cathryn. There you go.
Yeah.
Wow.
Get it now, man. Prices are going up. It's crazy out there.
Cyber Monday deal still in effect.
Cyber Monday.
Derick, is giving you no excuses. He's always giving back. So much generosity. Again, thank you, everybody. Good time, good pod. And Maddie, if you feel like we're good to go, please just give me those sweet words. Okay.
This podcast has been brought to you by the Sonar Network. Sonar!